Hello and welcome to this edition of Saturday Chat. Like I said, Sunday night, I want to really try to start doing this. This is one where I could just talk uninterrupted, get my thoughts out there. Helps me for preparing for Sunday night. Uh, it's a good way. And if I have a guest on, it's my words and my words alone. Nobody else is attached to those words. So if I don't want to be controversial, um, but I will speak out on things that I feel like maybe I should. Uh, but this week, and I had didn't have many cards to show. Wednesday, I took just a break from work, took a little mental health break. Sometimes you just got to do that. I feel a lot better. It's just because I touched on that. I feel like I know this is not part of my hobby, but I just have good days, bad days. I have way more good days than bad days, and every once in a while, it just feels like the lot of weight. I am not a winter person. I do have the winter doldrums or whatever they call it, and my whole thing with living in Iowa and the COVID time, never caught COVID. It just kind of increased everything when it came to that because I was away from my family. I couldn't get to them. A lot of different things, but that's neither here nor there. Now let's get into what this. I wanted to expand also on like things for 2025, 2024. 2024 was pretty good. Started a couple of new ventures in my hobby when it comes to Mickey Cochran and Roy. Even picked up a couple of yogis. Just keep on changing. I'm not going to narrow my say this is what I collect X, Y, and Z, and that's it. Never going to happen. But that's what I will focus on for the most part. But if I see something that I really want, I think it fits my collection or, something that I just want to have in my collection, I will. I think I've proven that. I don't think we should pigeonhole oneself into a norm. And I'm seeing that a lot more here lately is watch some people that were kind of stuck in one area or kind of going out. And I think there's a lot of things to that. The more you get into the hobby or expand your hobby, you expand every part of it, including friends, people, cards, knowledge, all of that. Also, financially, it helps you like not get in a rut and feel like everything's so expensive, where everything is just big dollars or where it's just you don't want to pay that for a certain thing. And I'm not saying go start another part of a hobby just to have something to buy. That is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I think that's some reasons why people do it. And it just look at that. I like that card. I like that person. I like that player. They start learning about them, and that's part of someone. I noticed as a collector, I feel like there's certain sets that I neglected, and it was because my Mets history doesn't go that far back, and the players I like are generally players in my lifetime that I look up to. But I'm also a historian by educational purposes, and I love the history of baseball, so I know it's there. And I said it before, like going to a Hall of Fame really changed, especially my hobby. If somebody asked me like the way I collect, and I'm going to say yes. It reinforced some things, but I also know like I really love my people that I watch, the people that really made a difference in my. I don't know why my curtain's open a little bit today. Like somebody peeking through, and then my heat might be running. It's cold here. Here in Winston Salem, snow got a couple of inches, and then cold on top of that. So, but I feel like in 2025, I'm just gonna keep going with that. Um, I said it that night. I'm really interested if Pete Alonso. Now, there's word today that he might be staying. He came out with an offer to the Mets because nobody's offering him the years that he wants. So he's kind of betting on himself with basically 3 1 year money with 3 year 1 year contracts, 3 of them where he gets to opt out each. That's not good business for the Mets because it doesn't secure anything for themselves. He pops off a good year and he runs after the money. That if you're going to do that, it should be a 2-way street, and the Mets can opt out as well. I would feel better with that. But back to my card collecting, I did do my room tour. Man, sorry, I bring it up a lot that I wanted to do it, but man, I like to have my stuff straight. And you're never going to be 100% straight, right? I'm always adding and subtracting. I got things to put up, add and subtract now. So things come in to hang up on the wall, things like that. So always adding and subtracting or rearranging at the least. So that's just a continuation. Like I said before, this is an extension of my hobby. I love bigger cards, bigger like 8x10 autos. I love artwork for the sport. That's why I have so many of Scott's stuff. I can't afford some of Scott's bigger stuff, but I can get his cards and shirts. But it's try to support him, support everybody the way I can. So don't be, if you see behind me some changes in the near future, don't be surprised or shocked because that's just how it goes. And it's not stale. It's something to look forward to in my videos too. He changed some things. So that's always a fun part. Let's see what else. Oh, questions. So one of the questions was the Star Wars pictures behind my computers. I got those on Topps.com. As part of their living set, they made the cards. Every time they make a card, they would make a larger print. I think some of the prints are still up for sale. Even though when I clicked on Star Wars last week, it said nothing available. They have right now. Their Throwback Thursday line. They didn't have baseball or Star Wars. They didn't have any Star Wars special stuff. So that was a little disappointing, but everything comes to an end and it saves money in my pocket. So not entirely angry. They did change like Topps Now. Topps Now they did have some football cards on there. They have university basketball. I didn't see any university football, but I'm sure if you probably look after these bowl games, they might be on there. So, just interesting to look at that stuff. I don't know what their plan is in the future for like .com type of material. I don't know. Fanatics is a bottom line big company, so they probably don't care if it brings traffic to their website. They probably think everything else brings enough traffic to their website. And if it doesn't help their bottom line, to print out 1,000 cards, I don't know how financially successful that is. Even with the Ohtani, I forget how many that was as one of the most selling ones, like 50,000 or whatever. You got to think that's still probably not too financially successful. So I don't know how long Topps Now is going to stay there. If they took off the other stuff, I hope it stays. I like that. Even as somebody that doesn't watch, I still look to see what they have. They have a basketball. They have, Formula One. I just look to see if there's anything interesting or anything that is really worth like in another sport, like somebody does something really huge, like break a record or something, if it's worth getting a record that means something, not like most free throws on a Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock. I hate those type of records. So, but yeah, that I've always found that interesting, and everybody wants short prints or something different. I found those a long time ago. That's how kind of me and Mike started talking to each other, was that type of thing, because it's always been odd. I'm looking at these prints, and I mean, I'm looking at a Sith. Okay, I know this ain't sports, but it's a Sith Jet Trooper. It's 40 out of 51. There's only 51 of those made. I got 40 of them. I'm looking at Darth Vader, so they stopped my man. So you could probably go on right now and get that as printed as much as you wanted, because my man Carlisle let me know, hey, they stopped doing that. You can get them as much as you want, but most of my prints are under 100 prints, and I paid $20 for them, $24. I know y'all don't probably care, but there's a huge Star Wars world out there, and a lot of people don't even know these exist. I have yet to go to any show and see these larger prints. I would love, if I ever get to go to like a comic book show or something, that the voice actors are there. I want to take these prints and get them printed. I have y'all saw them in my video. I got baseball. You can see two behind me right there. Gary Carter and David Wright. David Wright ever starts doing shows, I'll definitely take that print and get it signed. I have like Keith Hernandez, and I get those with that in mind. I'm always looking to see if I could send them somewhere. I don't trust that stuff in the mail. Like just randomly, I would look for like a signing where you can mail stuff to get it signed. But I'm not going to pay a crazy price either for that. So I'm always looking at budgets and bargains and things like that. Speaking of that, just also still like, I hate to say it, but because I just don't feel like a lot of people are using this auction format on Fanatics right now. I don't know if people are angry. It used to be PWCC, and now it's Fanatics. They use CGC to authenticate all the cards. I'm using their vault system. So I'm going to wait a whole year, pick up cards, and at the end of 2025, have them shipped to me. And you can also resell them through the vault system. So if I need to resell them for some reason, I can. And I am picking them up for less than $10. And if you're somebody that's just looking for the card and don't care about what the flip says, flip on the flip, it's a good way to really pick up some cards, for your PC. If you just like I got, right now some Gretzky's, some stuff that I would normally not really look at. And it's just a good place to get them at a cheaper price. And if I don't get them, I'm not upset, because it's not something I gotta have. It's not that. I did go on ComC yesterday. I left work early yesterday because of the snow. Living in Iowa for 8 years, I'm done with driving in that. So I left before the snow hit. I live 30 minutes away in heavy traffic. So I was like, I'm not driving in that. So I left early yesterday. It's like, used my time wisely, came home, packaged cards I sold, and then started looking at things. And ComC, looking at Pete Alonso's, either people are just trying to get the most they possibly can, looking for that sucker. I think the problem with ComC, and this is the actual, like, what goes on, not that it takes months to get them put up, not that it takes months to get them shipped to you. That's all issues as well. But I also think they're more looking for people not even shipping them back home. They want people to buy them and resell them and just use the platform. You're almost buying NFTs on ComC and some other sites like that. Because I feel like, you know, I was looking at some autos and for Pete, and just ridiculous prices, just stupid. I don't know what people are thinking, because you're not going to find those prices on eBay. You're not going to find those prices at shows. They were just pretty ridiculous. But I think the reasoning is because people are buying it and we're trying to resell on the same thing and trying to. I think they think, oh, I could sell it and not, you know, have to deal with it. I could just buy it and resell and just let it sit there, right? But you got money tied up in it. And I was just looking. I think I got $1.25, and that's the other thing I don't like about that is you got to have money in your wallet. I can't just sit there and buy random cards and just pay for them and then keep them in my vault there and ship them to me. I gotta put money in a wallet. I find that very irritating. I don't. It's a dumb thing. I know a lot of people. It's a good place to get your cheap cards. I know that. I started looking at the other end, and I was like, yeah, this will be a good spot to just look at my Google spreadsheet and start filling in some spots. But then again, I feel like that's a waste of money. I'd rather take $100 and buy one card, or 200 and get an auto. And because you've seen how many autos I have, I really love autos. But the pricing, you know, I like somebody like me. I like David Wright. It is crazy right now on the pricings for David Wright. Just nuts. It's all over the place. You'll find one for 40 and then one for 450. And I just missed the good old days of buying the auto and you didn't give a shit what it was on. The auto was what the price was. That's what I keep. I don't the price of. I don't care the number, the color of the card. It's, you know, yes, some cards look better, prettier. Joe texted me, Dr. Exclusive. Asked me about this card. He wanted to know what it was. I love gold and silver autos. I love the red real ones, but you know, those go for a hefty price. But this was cheap because it was Frank Thomas. He's a bum. So you know, that's kind of where I'm at. In 2025, I'm looking to work on my my Mets set. And just, you know, work on my 71 set, I think, a little bit, and work on my catchers and try to figure out this whole like buying for guys that are actually playing. You know, I'm happy Soto's with the Mets, and I'll be buying his stuff this year. But I don't know how much, you know, probably this year quite a bit, but after this year, I don't know. I picked up some stuff from somebody that's given up on him because he's a Met, and I'll talk more about that when it comes in. You know, if yeah, it is what it is, and you know, he's a friend of mine, gave me first hit, and we'll talk more about that when those come in. And you know, I just wanted to talk a little bit on a Saturday and just ramble a little bit. All is good. My dad is feeling better. You know, hopefully after this winter storm, not happy about it, but hopefully this afternoon I can go out. There was a card show in town over, probably about a 40-minute drive, and not going. A little disappointing. Had a weekend off. There's a huge show, I think, next weekend in Hickory. Probably I'll work overtime. If I get offered, I'll work overtime and not go to the show. But that's like a 450 table show, but it's toys and games. It's 2 big rooms, but it's done really, really well. 2 things that I love, and it's tough for me to go in there with just my $200, and it takes me all day to figure out if I'm going to get anything, what I'm going to get, and what is priority for me for that day. What do I feel like that day? And who knows? I might not even have the $200 to go. I'm trying to save up. March, going to Philly show. I'm not guaranteed off yet at work. Hopefully this week I can find out what's going on so I get my hotel room. Um, that coming up, and the National. That's the only two shows that I'm looking right now out of town. I might go to Chantilly in October at my birthday. That's up in the air as well. I don't know. I'm going to a video game show in South Carolina in early July. So I just don't have the funds for everything. And, I save up. If I go to a show, it comes out of my national fund. So that's how that works. This year, I am putting a little bit more into that each paycheck because of that. But it is what it is. Just again, finances and what the world's going on. And I just want everybody to be safe, happy. If you can give and help people either that are needed, people in Western North Carolina are still having issues. Red Cross for, that in Cali, and now we got snow in areas and dipping below freezing parts of the country that's not prepared for those types of things. So just, be careful out there. If you can help. If you can't, have, be uplifting, speak well. It's no time to be finger pointing. It's time to figure things out and be a problem fixer, not a finger pointer. The worst thing I hate is at work when something goes wrong and the boss comes in and tells me something went wrong. And then leaves like no shit. Need problem fixers, not problem pointers. We can see the problems. We just need to fix them, right? And that's in every stage of life. And I mean, this hobby is a way to escape from that. I'm sorry for the downer at the end. But the reality is there's shit going on right now. And, we can't get away from it all the time. I just want to, like I said, this is why I do this on Saturday. I get a little bit more personal. I show a little bit more personal in my hobby life. My tour was supposed to be on a Saturday for that reason, but I just didn't have anything Sunday. And like I said, man, when I feel a little down, my cards are where I've always gone to, or the baseball field. And I think they would be a little off-putting if somebody pulls up to the baseball field and a 53-year-old man sitting on the bench just contemplating life. So, there it is in a nutshell. If you have any questions about the room, anything about how I do things, I'm going to start going over some of my spreadsheets, like where I'm at on some of my PCs. I got to get a spreadsheet started for David Wright. I do more than just rookies. When I PC. So I basically what they call a super collector, which I never heard of before the last 10 years. Again, I was in a bubble. So I wasn't a techie guy. I wasn't an internet guy, and I kind of had to learn on the run, and glad I found this community. So that's all I got today. Sorry for the rambling. And just, again, help where you can, and just thoughts if you can't. So until next time, like, share. Oh, Sunday night, I don't know what the discussion is going to be yet. It might be if shit goes down out in Cali where, Burbank or somebody else, or what if situations in the hobby, right? So, wouldn't be bad to put some cards to the side, and there's going to be people losing their collections and all of this. So So until next time, see ya.